pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In compliance with the Open Public Meeting Acts of the State of New Jersey, adequate notice of this meeting of the Egg Harbor City Common Council was provided in the following manner. Advance written notice of this meeting was posted on the Egg Harbor City Poll Bulletin Board. Advance written notice of this meeting was posted on the Egg Harbor City website. Advance written notice of this meeting was sent to the Hamilton Gazette, the News, the Press, and the Current. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic and social distancing requirements, the meeting is being conducted via Zoom conference call and in person. The meeting is also being recorded to air on the Egg Harbor City website and channel 97 and Facebook. Roll call, please.
Mayor Jim Petty here. Antonisi here. Brown. Dash
Here.
Heist
Here.
Hesse
Here.
Timbers Trital Wright
Here.
Ritchie.
Yeah. I need a motion to approve the minutes from the June 9th.
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye, please.
Yes, I won't admit that.
If anyone in the room has any public comment on anything listed in the agenda for tonight, you can come up to the podium and speak on that now. It has to be something that is listed on our agenda. Does anyone have a comment on Zoom? No, never mind. There's nobody else. All right, then Mayor, your presentations.
All right. And for the record, Councilman Timbers has entered.
Well, this is a very exciting night. I have several celebrities in this room tonight, and I'm just so happy that everybody could come and be a part of the celebration. Cedar Creek has been a wonderful, wonderful addition to Egg Harbor City, and yes, it is in Egg Harbor City. And I'm just so proud of the high school and what they have accomplished. We do have Principal Scott Parker here tonight. Scott Parker, and if you want to come up with me, that would be great. Before I introduce our celebrity number one. This young man, which you'll hear on the proclamation, he is the first Cedar Creek football player to be inducted into the NFL. So we're very proud of that. Now, his dad, stand up for one sec. Mr. Gary Melton, he was also in the NFL. He was so like father, like son. So he was the first Egg Harbor City person, because Gary grew up in Egg Harbor City, as did his brother, Dwight. Dwight, you want to stand up real quick? That's Uncle Dwight there. So I'm just so proud of Egg Harbor City and what we've accomplished with Cedar Creek High School, and I think it's only going to get better. So without further ado, would you like to come up, Bo? Bo, Mrs. Bo? So I can't see if we're actually on. So what are we gonna do? We want to make sure. I'm sorry. Because I am, right? All right, can we get everybody? Is everybody here? All good? All right, so I'm gonna read the proclamation, but I think, yeah, I'll read it first, and then we're gonna, don't leave, because we're gonna give everybody a chance to say something. So I know we have some coaches here, mates, I don't know what you're doing back there. And our Crusaders, I have to say, you'll hear in the proclamation that Bo actually was a Crusader from the time he was little.
Coach Paul was that.
And whoever else you have. Somebody can go on the side. I'll go on the side.
Yes.
All right. So you know what? I'm going to let you coaches go first. So We'll start with the Crusader coaches. Go ahead.
I coach Bo his 6th, 7th, and 8th grade year with the Egg Harbor City Crusaders. But I've known the family since I was a kid, since I was 7, 8, 9 years old. So I've known them forever. Amazing family. Bo, I will say, was a blast to coach. I mean, he made us look good. I'll put it that way. We didn't really. I will say, going into his 8th grade year, I tell this story all the time. Going into the 8th grade season, we started summer camp, and the team was phenomenal. But you know, him and Isaiah, they come walking up to camp, and I see Bo just walk up, and you know, he walks underneath the goalpost, he stands right under it, and he just takes a full leap and smacks the goalpost. And I look at Des and I look at George. I said, "We're going to the championship." And but I mean, he had a phenomenal season. Like I said, it was a blast to coach him. I didn't stop watching him. I think I went to all the Creek games, and I caught his career there. And even with Rutgers, I was glad he went there. I'm a huge Rutgers fan, so it was great to watch him there as well. But I'm so proud of him as a coach. I'm almost speechless, but I know he's going to do great things at the next level. I just wish you the best, man.
Mace, did you want to say anything?
I'll let that go.
I think with a situation like this where it's surreal is knowing that at one time you got to be his position coach. And I remember when I came from Mays Landing and I moved to Egg Harbor City, I remember his dad goes, "Can I talk to you real quick?" And I'm like, "Okay, like, what's up?" Like, he was like, "You're his position coach?" I'm like, "Yeah." He was like, "I need you to get in his tail. He ain't gonna listen to me." He's like, he'll listen to his mom, and he might listen to Paulie, and he might listen to you, but I need you to be on him. And I remember we went to, it was like a jamboree type scrimmage, and there was like several teams, and we show up, and I'm asking him, like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "I'm not gonna drop the ball. I'm not gonna drop the ball." And I was like, "Well, why are you nervous about dropping the ball?" He's like, "My dad said I better hold on to that ball." He's like, "And you better put your back straight up and run straight to the end zone. You better not drop that ball." I was like, "Well, I suggest you don't drop the ball." I really believe any more minutes. He's like, "Exactly. Just make sure if my dad's looking, just tell me don't drop the ball." I'm like, "All right." So we get there, and literally, all he's asking me, "Well, what do you think the first play is?" I'm like, "Well, I think Bo's ready. Let's see how he does. First carry, gone." I'm like, "Oh boy, this is gonna get ugly real quick." And it got ugly real quick. And he's like, "Oh, yes, I'm feeling good. I'm holding on to the ball. You see me?" I'm like, "Bo, you just went like 70 yards. I don't think anybody knew you had the ball." And you know, as the season progressed, you know, you got to see him take it to different levels. And I always tell you every time I see you, I'm so proud of you. And then we had the opportunity to bring a few youth kids up to Rutgers to see the campus, to let them know, like, this could be you one day. And for Bo to go like, "Yo, this is Coach Des, like, you guys need to listen to him. He knows what he's talking about." He's like, "He made me tough." And I'm like, I appreciate that. Like, you know, because usually when you're telling a kid stuff at the youth level, you think it goes in one ear, out the other. But to have him at that level give you your flowers, that was the most humbling thing that I've gotten in my coaching career. And I wish you nothing but the best. No problem.
I never really physically coached Bo. I always had the younger one. But I never in my life met a kid that was so humble. What he did, as far as this as a person, you wouldn't have known that he was a freak athlete or anything. He never put that out. He never popped his chest out. He never did anything. He just did what he had to do. Once those cleats strapped up and that helmet was strapped on, he was a completely different person. But I always remember, and I'll tell the kids the same thing. He was the first and always the last one. He made sure he found me at the end of the day in the golf cart. Might have crashed it a couple times. But he always found me there, helped me clean up, made sure everything was cleaned up, man. Just a great person, man. I was sitting there watching the draft. I swore you were going in the second round. I put money on it. I mean, I wanted that silver and black so bad. I wanted it silver and black. But I'm just glad you went, man. And you know what? He's gonna be to sleep with his rap, man.
Oh, yeah.
I bet you any amount of money.
Mr. Parker.
I want to talk about Bo and the group that we're gonna honor in a couple minutes as a whole, and what they mean for Cedar Creek, for Culver City, of course. You're all great athletes. Bo's as good athlete as I've ever seen on a football field, but it's not about that. It's about how you guys got championships and drafted and all the things that you've done. So hard work, you know, the work that no one sees, that I've seen you guys put in. And what I'm most proud of is the way you guys represent yourselves, your family, Cedar Creek. I mean, very selfishly, when they hear Bo Melton, when they hear about a national championship winning team, and you can say without any hesitation, but they're better people, and they're better individuals, and they represent the school, and they're in the school doing the right things. And for all these gentlemen here tonight, that's what makes me really proud. And Bo set that tone. As someone early on in the history of Cedar Creek, he set that tone for us, and that's continued. And that's what I thank you for the most. Watching you play and seeing you go 80 yards, I'll never forget you dragging 6 dudes against Middle Township. Yes, there's so many plays, and we've had several athletes. I would argue close to, if not as talented as Bo, but what he did is he took that God-given ability and he worked hard enough that he's where he is today. So congratulations.
You want to say anything, Mom, before we go? Say it afterwards.
I
I'm
can
gonna
say
give
it
Bo his chance
You
too.
can go.
Well, we'll do it after. We'll do you guys afterwards. Okay. Proclamation for Bo Melton. Whereas Bo Melton began his football career with Egg Harbor City Crusaders Youth Athletic Association, better known as Mean Green. And whereas Bo went on to excel in football at Cedar Creek High School in Egg Harbor City. In his senior year, he had 51 receptions for 766 yards for 9 touchdowns and rushed for 451 yards, leading to 7 touchdowns. He was rated a 4-star recruit and as such received 30 scholarship offers from colleges all over the country. And whereas Bo committed to Rutgers University and had a stellar college career, logging 2,011 total yards. And whereas this year, Bo was drafted by the Seattle Seahawks of the National Football League as a wide receiver. And whereas the residents of Egg Harbor City, the Crusaders Youth Athletic Association, Cedar Creek High School, and the City Council and I are extremely proud of Bo and would like to recognize him for being the first Cedar Creek graduate to be drafted by the NFL Football League. Now, therefore, be it resolved to recognize his accomplishment that I, Lisa Gimpetti, Mayor of Egg Harbor City, proclaim June 23rd as Bo Melton Day in Egg Harbor City and wish him continued success in his football career.
We're on the Zoom link.
I appreciate everybody for coming out. It is surreal just being back in Egg Harbor City. Haven't been here in like 5 years, but I came back to watch Cedar Creek the other day, and it kind of brought back a lot of memories. And for you guys, congratulations. You know, go by 18. I hated track.
Right, easy.
I love track. I'm just playing. But great job, guys. You know, it's a great accomplishment. Appreciate my uncle. That's my uncle. You know, take under his wing. And coaches here take under their wing. Coach Desmond, Coach Paulie, I was coached up when I was younger by these two great gentlemen. Hard days, you know, great days though, you know, made me the man I am today. I remember doing push-ups in the cold, my hands were like on the knuckles. Coach Desmond came, he was like, "I'll get your dad." So I definitely did it. Yeah, Coach Mace, I do remember the memories. He coached my little brother, and I appreciate you for that. He's doing very well, so and I appreciate
That's
everything
why I
you've
said
done
2
for
more
the
years,
city.
you'll be right here with me.
Exactly. And Coach Parker or Principal Parker. I appreciate everything you've done for Cedar Creek. I came back to the school, I see this numerous amount of stuff, like different things out there, like solar panels on top. I'm like, okay.
I didn't do that.
But you're doing great things for the school, and I appreciate you stepping in. Appreciate the award. You're a mayor for a long time, and I appreciate everything you did for the city. Mom and Dad, I appreciate everything you've done for me since I was a kid. Always putting football in my life. I was great at just from a little kid, just knowing I was a great person. Football is secondary to me. Really, it's like family first, and I appreciate you for being sentimental up here, boy. I appreciate you doing that. Mama, I told my mom is my everything. Everybody knows that's why I hear Coach Des. He said, my mom, I listened to my mom when I was young, and I listened to my dad obviously too, but my mom was my rock. I love her so much, and I think of everything she's done for me. I'm sorry, it's everybody in my family here. My Aunt Tana, I love you so much. You've been there with my family since I was a little kid, and I appreciate that so much. And I love you to death. Aunt Kim, same thing. And I go from Laura, the Martins. You guys came in to my life, and I appreciate everything you guys done for me, my family, even for Dua, like a guy that was, one of my closest brothers. You did everything for him also, and I seen that growing up. Lastly, my Uncle Dwight, big Unc. I appreciate what you have done for track team. You have done for me when I grew up. Even little things like sending me cash out money, allowance, just telling me, keep going, keep working. That means a lot for a kid. And Coach Mark, I appreciate you as much too. And thank you guys for coming out. I appreciate this award. It really means a lot.
Be very short because I will start crying at the I just thank Egg Harbor City for just taking in my family. See, I'm starting already. Thank you for honoring my son and making today a day for Bo Melton and Bo Melton's Day. I'm very proud of you. And stop there.
Thank you, Egg Harbor City, hometown. No, love you to death. Dead Man's Hill, Roller Coaster Hill. Riding out to the lake. Come on, somebody, y'all know what I'm talking about. I won't talk about the bad stuff, but there was no bad stuff in Egg Harbor City. I tell you right now, I am so grateful for this city. You took a little kid who, whose mama was she's a strong woman. Put me in the school and said, you will succeed. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It built into a culture that was within this city that I have employed all of my life. I'm tough, Egg Harbor City. And people always ask where I'm from when I'm at my job. I'm in education, retired from teaching, but still in education, working for New Jersey Education Association. And they say, where do you come from? And I'm like, you don't understand. We grind in Egg Harbor City. All right. If we want something, we work for it, we go for it. And Bo is a testament to that work. Yeah, I kicked down his door a few times and said, get on out there and do some push-ups. Yeah, he had some, not literally kicked down his door. But yeah, to see him work and get to this point, I'm so proud of him and his work ethic. And each and every person in here has a part of that work ethic. Or every time you just said a prayer for him, or every time you watched him on television and cheered for him, every time you've seen him at a game or encouraged him in any way, that's Egg Harbor. That is what Egg Harbor is all about. And I promise you, to the day I die, I'll be mean green. I'll be mean green to the day I die. Thank you, Egg Harbor City, for what you've done.
Coaches, come on in here. I'm trying to get everybody in. Can you get them all, Jack?
Yes.
All right, I'm coming up with it.
Thank you, Jackie. Old classmate.
And also, Mayor, just to let you guys know that.
Can you get a picture of the two of you?
You don't have to stay after the presentation, you're free to go. Okay, Mr. Parker, you ready for round two? All right, I'm gonna call our champion, national champion track team 4x800 relay, one by one. I'm gonna present them with the certificate, and I also have a proclamation for you and a couple things for Coach. So come on up, Coach. Or maybe one thing for Coach. Okay, Dalton Cullen. Matthew Winterbottom. Jacob Torres. Blake Kurtz. Braden Parker.
All right.
Over here, and I want you guys to slide over here. Just make sure you guys are on here, okay? So, first of all, this is the first national championship for Cedar Creek High School, and I'm very proud of that. And here's, you didn't see their picture on Facebook, that's their picture, and that's for you, Coach.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And then I have a proclamation I'll read, and then if you guys, you don't have to say anything, I don't want you to be nervous. If you want to, you can. All right. Principal, did you want to say anything?
Just real quick, I want to reiterate the hard work that these guys put in, but for me, and more importantly, these are leaders in our hallways. They're great kids. Obviously, they can run really fast and they're great athletes, but just better people. There's students that lead by example, obviously on the track, but in the hallways as well. And then if I could add for Egg Harbor City, I was bummed I wasn't able to, when they were coming back in town, I wasn't able to be there. But it's just another example of what Egg Harbor City does, mayor, council, the chief. We call them, and like that, we have whatever we need. We have fire trucks, we have sirens going, we have a parade, and that happens anytime we're in a situation. These guys are driving back from North Carolina, made the call, and there they were. And that's what Egg Harbor City's about for us. Has always been so supportive. New flags on Egg Harbor City. We talked 4 or 5 years ago, we got flags, and Mayor calls me about a month ago. She said, "We're getting new flags. What do you think of these?" I didn't even talk to her about it, but that's the pride they have in Egg Harbor City, or in Cedar Creek, I'm sorry, and we appreciate that very much.
I'll let my coach Janice go
Coach
first.
James?
Coach James, yeah. I didn't know I was gonna have to give a speech. These boys have carried my heart since day one of the track season this year. You could tell right from the very beginning that the chemistry was gonna come along and be something special. My 2 seniors, Jacob and Dalton, you're gonna be missed, first of all. Dalton, thank you for taking control of the distance days that I wasn't there and keeping the morale going. Jacob, even though you always had to say it hurt, for some reason, your infectious personality kept us laughing all season long, so thank you.
Blake. Not only is it hard to coach, but it's even harder to coach your own child. And it makes it even harder to coach your own child back from a traumatic injury. Blake, it takes a special athlete to do what you accomplished this year. He came back 2/3 through the running season with no training. We threw him out on the track and he made a statement and became part of this team. It's a huge accomplishment and I'm prouder than you can ever know. Matthew.
Oh my God.
$1 million question, Matthew. Why are we doing this, coach? Is this why we're doing this, coach? What do I need to do this, coach? Why do I have to do this, coach? I'm happy you asked those questions and it came all together for you because watching your progression throughout the season was spectacular and I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
Braden, my future of the 4x8 relay teams. It's not easy being in the alternate position, but you handled it like a pure seasoned athlete. You haven't run track. This was your first year running track. You held your own in trainings. You showed up and you were a support system on the sidelines for these kids running the relays. I'm looking forward to working with you for the next 4 years, and I'm excited to see what you're going to accomplish. Thank you, Coach Melton, for the opportunity to coach these kids.
These are my boys. When I want to give up on some, I look at them. And I look at Jacob. Jacob was the fastest freshman in the state when he ran. Right now, Matt Winterbaum is the fastest sophomore in the state. All right. These guys have accomplished so much. And like Mr. Parker said, in the hallways, they're held at a higher standard. If I find out that they did something wrong, they're going to be running some 400. I just tell Coach Shanice, you know, because Coach Shanice, I want to say thank you to you because she actually trains these young men. She actually trains them. If they have a problem with her, they come to me, and then I kick them right back to her. Go out and run this thing. And she has really shown that she knows what she's talking about. You don't want to just leave your team, your kids around someone who don't know what they're talking about. And she does. And she takes care of, she's their mom. She gets on them. That's all you hear the whole track, her mouth.
That's because God blessed me with a loud voice.
Blake, drop your chin. Jacob, I don't know, do something.
Open your stride.
Yeah, open your stride. But it was awesome. It's awesome having her as our coaching staff. It's awesome for the administration who actually, believe it or not, in like 2 days got this thing to happen. Mr. Parker, thank you for all the paperwork that you did. You, Mr. Ernie, and Miss Cavallari, we thank you for that. We also want to thank Egg Harbor City. We are Cedar Creek, but we are Egg Harbor City. All right, that's where we're at. So, when they say where you're from, I'm like, you don't know? Egg Harbor City.
That's right.
The metropolis. That's what we are. You know? And so we're Egg Harbor City strong. And these guys run just like they're from Egg Harbor City. Thank you.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna read the proclamation.
Can we, 1 second?
Sure.
I want to say one more thing, real quick. My wife is back there, and I know she's saying, all right, now, this all started with my brother.
Okay.
He was the track coach that I took over for. So what he trained, how he trained track, people on track, I just took up that mantle of what he had taught me. So I'm giving you all your props.
Yeah. Whereas on June 17th, 2022, the Cedar Creek High School track relay team won the national title in the 4x800. And whereas Coach Dwight Melton, I'm sorry, I didn't get that, but Coach Dwight Melton, Dalton Colony, Blake Kurtz, Braden Parker, Jacob Torres, and Matthew Winterbottom have the distinction of being the first Cedar Creek team to win a national title. Whereas the residents of Egg Harbor City, City Council, Cedar Creek High School, and I are extremely proud of them and wish to recognize them for their achievement. Therefore, be it resolved to memorialize their victory that I, Lisa Jimpetti, Mayor of Egg Harbor City, proclaim June 17th, 2022 as Cedar Creek Track Relay Team Day in Egg Harbor City. Whatever. So that's when they won. That's when they won the title, and I confirm that. Right, Mr. Parker? Yes, I did. So that's for you guys too, and I will get another copy, and I will make another one of these for you.
Thank you.
I love my mom. This is your big chance.
That's Mayor Jim.
Thanks.
We have one picture with 5 of them and Bo.
Yeah. Yeah, but you a long jump. 100. One, two. Get in the middle.
Yeah,
Oh, am I going in?
Yeah. Squeeze it.
Oh, I'm supposed to do this too.
Principal, do you want to be?
Come on, Mr. Parker, let's go.
We just need one more, okay? Okay, we good? Good, Ms. May? Good. All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
That's okay. Now they are.
Ladies and gentlemen, now that the distinguished athletes have been honored, you do not have to stay for the rest of the
Yes.
Okay.
That was the presentation, so now we have the Tony from the MS Fight. Sorry.
And then we'll do the rest of yours.
That's on the agenda.
Yeah, we're all-
Great testimony. I didn't know it was coming tonight to see that. So it's a real great trip to your city. Tony Marchione, I am a longtime participant, volunteer with the MS Bike Ride. This is my 30 years Moose Track. If you don't know, it's a bike ride that goes from Cherry Hill to Ocean City every year and back. Multiple options. We have about 4,500, we're shooting about 4,500 registrants this year. It's tough times years ago with COVID, we had to shut down, go virtual. We're back now. We were back last year. So in appreciation of your participation last year, we have a plaque to recognize Egg Harbor City for your cooperation. Thank you so much. We are coming back again this year on the 24th, 25th September. As always, we work with the police and local officials to set things up. We do provide letters to every business and residents along the route. We know we're coming. We know we're a big inconvenience. Saturday morning, people running their errands, kids playing soccer, whatever it happens to be. We're out on the road, 4,000 cycles all over the place. So we do appreciate your patience and your cooperation. We look for anything in volunteerism. People want to help out. We always look for people to help. There's a lot of different things around. I always joke that my first MS ride, we had a little under 1,000 riders, and now we have 1,200 volunteers. So the ride has grown tremendously in those years. And so we do raise about $4.5 million this year. It's the second biggest MS ride in the country, and we appreciate the opportunity to ride through the city and the support you give us every year. If anybody has any questions about that, please feel free to ask me now. Again, if there's any complaints or problems, we look forward to that as well. Anything, we just want to say thanks for letting us through, and we'll see you again in a couple of weeks.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everybody. Have a good night.
Okay. Nothing big, just, we did get a community energy plan grant. I don't know if, Annette is on the call tonight, but I guess she'll talk about that a little bit more, for $25,000. And we have a Wawa ribbon cutting on Target. As I had said before, June 30th at 10 a.m. The police department and the fire department are going to have a hoagie make.
A hoagie making contest. The firemen are going down.
That hoagie, they might win.
Yeah.
And the lake report, I'll just do it quickly. I won't read everything. Total badges in all shapes and sizes. So far to date, $22,276. Picnic tables, $22,525. Boat rides, $590. Gazebo rental, $50. And the total sales to date are $25,441. Same date last year sales were $24,629, and that is a variance of $812 more than we did. That's good news there. Fireworks, just as a reminder, are scheduled for July 16th. The lake will close as usual, and we'll open back up at 7:30 or 7:45 to let people in. We did have a problem last year with people who did not want to exit and then come back in. Very bad issue, but hopefully this year will be better. Citywide yard sale is slated for August 6th. Fire department dinner, August 6th. And the food truck event is August 13th. And that's all I have.
Council committee chair reports. President Ricky, Chair of Finance and Redevelopment, is not here tonight. Councilman Trifall, Safety, is not here tonight. Highway, Mr. Adams will take care of that, so I don't have to give a report on that. Parks and Playgrounds, the Parks Committee and the chief, we took a tour of the campground last night. We went out to see all the happenings and what's going on. It's nice to actually go out there and see what's going on, see their schedule of how many people are coming. They're doing very well this year. They've put in a very nice store. They've added some signs to distinguish the one site from the other, and where the back of the site ends as well as the front of the site, so when people pull in, they can see where their proximity is in their site. They did add new urinals to the men's room. Believe it or not, they're waterless urinals. They showed us how they work, and I can tell you, we walked into the men's room, did we not, Kim? And there was not one smell. There was not one odor. So knock wood, hopefully it's a good addition. They're going to be putting in some more roof ventilation because a gable fan is not feasible with a brick wall like they were intending in the beginning. And the only other thing I have on that is I was approached by a couple campers. Mayor, the gate that is at the playground, can that be open during the hours that the lake is open?
This is an ongoing issue with that. Last year it wasn't open at all because of COVID, and then the year before. So 2020, it did not open at all. But it can be open, however, you just have to make sure that people are watching the kids cross, because it's a road there.
Yeah.
We're talking about that.
The one at the playground, the road from the campground, the front road. I don't think anybody travels down that road. That's blocked off now. It's blocked off now, so no cars go down that road. They have a thing over it. We love our kids, slow down. Because we have some issues with some campers that walk with canes, use portable carts, and it's hard for them to get from their site all the way around through the
We've
sand
already
and.
had that discussion with the campers years ago, and I don't have a problem with this, just during COVID, it got locked.
Right.
Management changed. So.
Now, who has the key? That's basically
The
my,
head lifeguard has the key to the manager has the key and the supervisor.
okay,
For anybody on staff.
okay, perfect. Then we will work on getting that. Thank you. That was the only question that I had from out there. Next would be utility. License and ordinance. Is Councilwoman Brown on?
No. She does have a meeting on June 29th.
June's meeting scheduled for June 29th. Councilman Timbers, Land Use Board, and Aaron Huffin.
Land use, got a meeting on June 21st. They did appoint Mr. Joe Junior as the alternate for the board. Also, there was a discussion about the proposed POW facility by Mr. Tavares. Came in for that. There was some concern from one citizen that lives like in that neighborhood. Her concern was partly aesthetic, but it was a pole barn thinking about things that may be an eyesore. Also, there was some concern that it may not be a true community center, since it's not exactly free. The children that get paid for the services. For Aaron Hampton, they did have a meeting at the Roundhouse on June 20th. They discussed financial concerns like reimbursements. Also, they were following their IRS paperwork, and they took a vote. And the next two meetings in July and August, they're going to be they're suspended for that time, and they'll have another meeting in September.
Thank you. School board, Ms. Brown's not here. Meg, anything with Jeff?
Nothing.
And Councilwoman Hesse, Sustainable Beach Day.
The only thing that I have is Sustainable's working on finalizing a nature trail grant. I believe that's what the mayor was talking about. And that's on the 25. Oh, is it? Okay. Okay. And she had said possibly Jody or Ryan would speak more on it. And there will be no meeting this month. Just to let you know. So that's it.
Thank you. Chief of Police report.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So this week, these last 2 weeks, we have had a number of crime prevention activities and property checks, which 146 crime prevention activities, 359 property checks, which I hope is indicative of the other numbers that we had. We had 3 burglaries, 1 fraud, 1 simple assault, 1 stolen vehicle, 6 thefts. Those are significantly lower numbers than we have seen in recent months. We have had 5 motor vehicle accidents, 5 pedestrian stops, total of 46 traffic stops, 13 summonses issued from those traffic stops, 9 arrests. There's still other things that happen, but I would like to let people know, and sometimes people think it is counterproductive. We are going to be doing targeted traffic enforcement on the White Horse Pike. Summer months are here, people are going up and down the pike. Well, I tell people, our goal is not to go out on the pike, it's to make sure that our corridor is safe. So if telling people that we are going to be doing traffic enforcement gets them to slow down, then we have achieved our goal. So please be aware, we will be out on the White Horse Pike. You will see our flashing lights, hopefully not behind you. Other than that, last 2 weeks, we have spent a lot of time getting ready and preparing for our summer months in terms of planning where we're going to be. We will be spending more time out at the lake and campground. While we were out there last night, We did get a chance to speak to the managers, and they actually appreciate that the officers do pull through quite frequently. We will continue to do that. We will be out at the lake. We will be, just so everybody knows, we'll be ticketing folks who are trailering ATVs and quads out there. Can't do that there. But yeah, so we did spend some time at schools towards the end of the year. We participated in Sprague's Field Day. We did not participate this year in the Special Olympics torch run. Getting a little too old for that, but we did go out there and show our faces and cheered on our colleagues from Hamilton Township as they ran to Egg Harbor City. I'll have to get on some of the younger guys to make sure that they start running so that they're ready for next year. They have a chief's meeting, got to meet the prosecutor. I am cautiously optimistic. He sounds like a very, very motivated man who has big plans for the county. So I'm hoping to see that come to fruition. He will be here next Thursday night. We are having a community walk through the Coalition for Safe Community. We'll be starting at Key-Rec, going down to Philadelphia Village. He will be here. Other people will be here. Please come out and join us to take a walk. And get to know some of your officers and some of the folks from the prosecutor's office. What time does that start? At 6 p.m. We'll be meeting at Key-Rec. I'll be posting something on Facebook. You can check the Coalition for Safe Communities Facebook page, and I will post something on the Facebook page. Yeah, that's about all that we have. Secret graduation was beautiful. It was short. It was without any issue. Congratulations to all the graduates, and congratulations to any students here in Egg Harbor City who attend any other schools, ACIT, Holy Spirit, ASCAN, or OPRES. We congratulate you and wish you well with whatever you do in the future. That's it. Any questions? Thank you.
CFO report?
I don't really have a report. I just explained that planning grant. We got notification that I believe it's through the Department of Clean Energy. It's a planning grant for $25,000 to try to come up with a plan to like align with the state's energy master plan. So it's just we'll start working on to hopefully come up with a plan for ways that the city can become more energy efficient. And it's pretty comprehensive. It's vehicles, it's buildings, it's just pretty much anything energy related. So guess in a few months.
Thank you. City clerk's report.
I have nothing.
City solicitor's report.
I have nothing.
Supervisor of Public Works.
Sorry. So I don't want to say I have nothing, but.
You said that last time.
I'm always quick. So, utility department, 79 calls for 79 calls for service. So, it seems like for whatever reason, we are just up with calls. We're just getting like inundated with calls, emergency calls, nighttime calls. But we're doing. So again, also 216 markout requests. These are repeat markout requests that we have to go out and put paint down the road. So it's continuing, taking quite a bit of our time to do. If, let's just say we mark Atlantic Avenue to Easterwick Street and they go out and they dig, as soon as they come back out, they call in another request, we're back out there straight from dirt and doing all this. So I'll be happy when the gas company pulls out down to start. So we're also working on high usage and non-reads for our meters that we just did. We're getting lower and lower and lower complaints for high usage, lower complaints for no reads because of last time after our meter program, our reading, we did probably close to 90 more days of repairs and trying to fix and get everybody back on track. And that I will credit Laura with trying to stay on top of the no reads. She's trying to get us on top of that so we don't have stuff sitting out there that we're not building. So we've had a lot of interaction with New Jersey American Water moving forward. We have them coming in right now, twice a week until further notice. They come in doing our plant work in the morning with us, starting to train some of the guys there. We just had a gas chlorine safety class for them because it's a chemical they're not used to working with. So we had about 13, 15 of them come in, and a lot of questions, a lot of answers, and turned into, again, another tour of the plant for some of the workers in the production department. So that continues to be quite a bit of our time. We're scheduling, again, final reads. I know that's back and forth between conversation when New Jersey American takes over and how we do the final reads. I'm hoping that they kind of adhere to where we're at and it doesn't go extended or shorter or double usage. So coming up for us, we have another step of our lead service line inventory, which is, again, another monumental task to take on. This is the second step of what we had to do before, which every service notified, or not notified, every service marked through the state's plan, unknowns, knowns, leads, coppers, possibles. This is stuff that we've been going out, slow times when we have them, spot taking service lines, identifying them, and we'll be able to plan with that. I have Break the Know coming up. Also in the month of July, we have lead to copper sampling. So this is when we go out and we set the bottles out. We ask for the residents to fill bottles, fresh draw, we pick them up the next morning. So sometime in July, we'll be doing that. For Public Works, again, the sweeper is still down. So we have parts ordered. We have a radiator ordered. I cannot wait till the day comes in. We're gonna run that thing as much as we can, humanly possible, to keep up on storm drains. We've kind of in lapse or in lieu of the sweeper, without breaking storm drains off, trying to take the debris with us. So it's not going back down. It's kind of antiquated and it's lengthy, but it's what we're doing to try to keep up on our storm drains, filling with litter. Grass cutting, we're obviously in a ton of grass cutting right now. We spent 6 days brush removal in the last month. Main Street, I know they commented on the flag. We have new Cedar Creek flags up. We changed over to the summer flags. We kind of mixed in some American flags. It's like a trial every year. We see which works best. So, yeah, like the Christmas lights. So, Lincoln Park, we've been trying to steady do improvements there. We did some electric meter improvements that didn't fall over. We fixed up the gazebo quite a bit, painted all the ballards, done all that, patched the floor. We fixed the flagpole that was broken out there. And the guys are steady, kind of trying to clean up trash, go through. We actually had kind of a long conversation. There was 4 of us Public Works guys and 6 of the guys that hang out in the park. And we kind of told them, like, this has to be a group effort. If you want to utilize the park, technically you should be responsible and utilize it. We came back the following day, every trash can was empty. The park was right around the gazebo. And they were kind of like, we'll work with you if you work with us. So, whatever you need. So we appreciate that. So it's nice to see them taking part in it too, take a little pride in it. I know we talked about the nature trail plan. I met with Annette one day this week. We went over what Public Works can do as far as the grant, installing the kiosks. There's some gates going to go up out there. She had visions of gates kind of going everywhere. So I told her that they're just going to slow down on the gates. They're just going to go around. Let's kind of minimize the vehicles, not the people or the ATVs, because they're going to want to destroy that for whatever reason. That's what they do. So we got together an idea. I think we're putting up 2 gates out there. We're going to go through Tractor Supply, buy some simple gates, put them up with some wood. We also agreed to install the kiosks for the front of the trailhead. So she has an idea of what her expense is on our side moving forward. We just threw in a new hot water heater at the lake concession stand. For anyone that was wondering, it lasted 26 years. I think we got our time out of it, and it finally just shut off one afternoon. So, and then the last thing I have is I know we're working with a vendor now for the library, Flagpole Technologies, to try to get them to come in. The county suggested that. We've had a problem with the one flagpole that holds of all the Egg Harbor City flag constantly breaking. So we're going to see if they can redo the full system. It's all internal. There's something we can kind of do. They do all this. So we can meet up with them and get a price from that. Go from there. Last, I'd like to say that this was a lot tonight to be part of. This is awesome. I know I listened to the meeting again, Mason saying you guys don't understand what kind of stuff is happening in town again with the mayor being involved. I myself sat and watched my daughter graduate 8th grade this week. It was special for us. She's gonna go to Cedar Creek. Scott Parker is a long lost relative of mine. Second cousins, right? So I reintroduced myself to him again. Emily Adams, and that's too, just like you did for my son. So I'm just happy. And this is a good thing that we see. And when you listen to Mr. Melton talk about Egg Harbor City, you know, you got to take pride. This is the kind of stuff that's happening quietly under the nose of people that are around, and we're doing it. I believe we're doing it. So that's all I got. If anybody's got questions.
I just have two things. I need some 5-mile-an-hour speed limits. It is in the ordinance, the 5-mile-an-hour speed. And I
Quarterly.
I couldn't find the one at 5-mile-an-hour. I know we have one.
It was on the road going off Philadelphia Avenue that goes around the campground.
Now it's just an ATV.
There's no 5-mile-an-hour.
I mean, I could have missed it, but.
No, and I
Did
did
you
tell you
see
that, no, I didn't see,
it.
but I did take the sticker off the ATV one, because somebody's going around putting long skinny stickers over the no ATVs. So they're blocking the words on the sign. So I did drive around and take a couple off, and I told Keith, those guys are out there Friday to break the lake and stuff, if he could have them look and take the stickers off if they see them.
Okay.
So.
And then the only other thing is, I know you guys are working hard in Lincoln Park, and I know that it appears sometimes that there's the brick fence around it has to be painted, but it actually is mold. Raymond's always told me for years. When I asked him to paint it, it's mold, it's mold, it's mold. So maybe if we could, did you notice that the new bricks did not get the mold, but the old bricks did? The ones that Johnny Rupp put in?
Okay.
They
Where
have
we had
nothing.
the accident.
Yeah, they have
right.
nothing on.
Okay.
But all the old ones.
They've been there long enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but, you know, so I don't know if.
So we just talked about too, kind of trying to utilize our temporary guys to power wash that. And by gallons.
You may not have to paint it, but
At least we get over there power wash.
because it has been painted for recent memory, so that we did
Yeah.
paint it a couple years ago.
Yeah. So that's not a problem.
Yeah, if you use that stuff for Home Depot, that mold killer.
Those two go on.
It won't come back.
Like what you have.
Like your decks, your siding and all that.
It kills, yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like it kills, it's like a remodel. But it works great.
Some things might have something to, I know you have like deck.
Problem is, if the sun don't shine that much, it'll never dry out. Yeah, this road.
Well, maybe someday we can paint it.
Yeah.
Make such
Yeah.
There's an ad.
What's that?
There's an ad that you put in.
Okay.
It slows down a jumping on it.
Yeah, that's usually what we do. Regular.
The park is doing a good job and they're weed whacking.
Yes.
My husband's happy about that. You know, weed whacking anymore. But they're doing a good job.
Thank you.
Steve, I did have one question.
I
You
got
mentioned something about bottles for the water or that,
So we do a lead and copper, for our testing, we do lead and copper, we do it now, we're annually, we try annual, but we're annual, so, we go out. The way it works is, it's a lead and copper sampling plan based on the history of the house.
oh, so it's not everyone.
So it's a targeted group, I think we have 30 sites, we use 20, and then the others that are alternate, like if it's abandoned or owner don't want to participate. And what it is we leave the bottle with instructions, they wake up that morning, first draw, they fill it up and give it to us, and we send it out. This is an idea of what's happening in the system, so. We'll be doing that sometime in July.
Yeah.
Quick question. First, I want to thank you guys for all the awesome work you guys are doing out there. Second of all, something about the lake thing. I'm not sure because I haven't been out of the lake probably about a year or so, but they said there was a big plywood sign that used to be facing, I guess, the store that said like no smoking, no vaping and all that stuff.
We got a new sign.
Yeah, but the thing is, they said the sign's so small, you can't see it until you're right up to it. That if you can find the plywood, I don't know, that, I have no idea. They just mentioned to someone I was walking
I
out.
wonder if we could reposition. Maybe put it on the backside of the golf course or face of the campers. Because that's a brand new sign.
Yes, I know, yeah, look,
All right, so now it took me a second.
I don't know what the heck, he just said
Sign-
this, and I meant to tell Donna last night. So you
It's
guys.
the sign that used to be on 4x4 post. It was a big
Yeah.
piece of plywood.
And then.
Well, we had the new one made and it was smaller, and that's why we put it up on the single post. So, reposition, or we could go back to the other side.
Oh, yeah, so I just said I would, I don't.
On the golf course fence. Would that make it better?
I don't know, he just said that when, I guess by the time people actually get up to the sign, you know, they're already going to be smoking and everything, so he said that big plywood basically said it like right then and there, kind of stopped it in their tracks.
Yeah, it just made it easier to smaller sign. And
Oh, yeah,
We
I-
still have the sign.
Oh, that's what I told him, I said, they probably.
I'm sure we still have the sign.
Oh, you could talk to them about it.
And you might be able to move it on the campground somewhere, talk to the manager, to the smaller one.
Okay.
You know, like right when they walk.
Yeah, it's not a big
right
deal.
there, Instead of on the garden, put it on where that.
You can have one here and then have
Yeah.
the sign. on
Around
each end.
fences.
Okay, that's not a problem. We should still have it.
Yeah, I would talk to the two that runs it out.
Okay. All right.
I do have one. At East Pilgrim Park, the dog receptacles are.
Yeah.
That's broken, just the, actually just the.
Coming up.
Coming up, yeah, it's broken.
I believe you.
Yeah.
Nothing's bad.
And talking about East Pilgrim, I'm sorry, but the East Pilgrim celebrations coming up in July. Do you remember the 17th? 17th, so.
I did send an email.
Yeah, I got
Did
that.
you get it?
Yeah, and someone, I won't mention names, so our chief said reminders on our calendar, so I don't miss it. So I am appreciative of that too, so.
Telling you.
That's it. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
And engineers reports.
We have two things on the agenda, resolutions for state aid. These are if we want to apply for them, we have always applied for a bikeway grant along the Roads Avenue from Atlantic to Eastwick. That's the last unfunded portion of the citywide bike path, which stretches from the train station up to New Orleans. Along Atlantic up to New Orleans, up New Orleans to Eastwick, down Eastwick to Philadelphia Avenue, and then up to Lake. That's literally the only thing that's not funded, is that one section. So I think we should reapply for that. And then Safe Streets and Transit, we've had incredible luck getting funded with that. And really the last piece there that makes sense is to extend along Atlantic from Washington Avenue, where we have the end of that, which is pedestrian path, up to the bus stops at New York Avenue. So if you have interest in applying for that, the application is due in about a week. So the resolution supporting those two.
They are on the agenda.
Yeah, so an hour wait till we get there. We will be submitting a proposal for the fiscal year 2021 and 2022 state aid roads, which is 110 West Chicago, 102 Washington. So we can look at that next meeting. Get them signed up for this fall. In the post office, we've made some progress on the parking spaces. So we're directed to have the city send requests, and Meg sent requested. And then I told her to send to somebody else, so she sent to the other person. So, we've done our part. Hopefully they will come out and strike the spaces later. As the mayor mentioned, Wawa is progressing over the next week. And Atlantic Avenue, the bike path is, they're making good progress. They've got about 800 feet of path done so far. So they're moving right along. They're going in and doing all the stone first. Then they'll be coming back and adding the structures and the last stuff. So that's it for me, unless there's any questions.
Anything on the other bike path? The tag, we're taking care of it, you're taking care of it.
No, I have not been involved in discussions there. I kind of tried to punt it back to CME because the county was all mad. It got submitted to the state, and I was like, well, I didn't submit it, so there's not a whole lot I can do. From what I understand, we're trying to get a little powwow with myself, the county, the city, and CME to just try to flush it out and come up with a new final version of the agreement for hopefully accept the one that we have, and then move past that. We do not have anything.
My thought sidewalks, if we can get the county to take care of the bike path, maybe they'll come out and actually mow the wall, mow the grass out there along.
They should be doing that. Well, I mean, less of it.
Should,
right back in the
should is the key word.
Also, stormwater, or no, was it stormwater? It was sewer connections that was holding it up too. CME had put in another submission to the, DEP, I guess.
They
Because
probably,
the county wouldn't let them connect to their,
probably the storm sewer system.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's really what's holding the project up.
Yeah, it's a pretty intensive stormwater design, because you're adding a bunch of impervious area along in front of people's houses in areas that have sensitive wetlands. And of course, water wants to go to the lowest spot, and the lowest spot is wetlands, and you can't do anything there, no basin. So it really complicates, what you're trying to do from a design standpoint, to do as much as you can in the wetland area, and have a little bit of direct discharge that you can offset with everything you're doing elsewhere. So it is a complicated design, and that does take time. But the agreement side, there's no reason we can't do that.
Thank you so much.
Ryan, I did have a couple of questions. First of all, the transit extension, the resolution that we have here, that is what they're putting in right now.
So no, this would be a resolution support to submit a state aid application. That was the first thing I went over. So there's two programs. We already did the municipal aid resolution at the last meeting. There's two programs, one for bikeway and the other for safe streets to transit. So safe streets to transit is all about developing routes to and from your bus stops and your train station. So that's why I suggested, right now we have a mixed-use pedestrian path on Atlantic that ends at Washington. And we could extend that up to the bus stop at New York Avenue. And that would give you, with everything we have funded now, that would give you a pedestrian connection all the way from the New York Avenue bus stop to the train station and all the way up to the bus stop at Bremen Route 30. So it just enhances your pedestrian travel options essentially. And connects all critical points. If you're coming in or out of town on those bus stops, you're trying to get to the core of the town. So that having them all connected gives you good routes and good options.
So this is just a part of it. This is a connection to it.
Correct. And then the other one was the bikeway, which would be along New Orleans Avenue from Atlantic to Deesrup Street. It would just be share the road, signs, arrows, things like that. We wouldn't be eliminating parking for people's houses, but there's 3 blocks that are paved and there's houses. There's a couple blocks that go through the woods. So in those sections, it would just be to sort of regrade, maybe establish a TGA, a more rideable surface, put up signage, and things like that.
So that's going straight down New Orleans Avenue from Atlantic to Deesrup.
Correct. Yeah, we applied for that one, I think it was just last year. So at that point, we have all other sections of that. So that's the last portion of that citywide path. So it's all the way from Lake to the train station.
Have you seen that?
Did share the road arrows?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
we
not
just did a
really-
pretty extensive system. Yeah, no,
It's
it's
just like a
really
little
not.
maze that-
Yeah, they're called sharrows. They're called share the road arrows. It looks like similar signage.
Pretty much all the short down.
Yeah, I mean, it's just letting you know, like, even people are allowed to ride bikes here. If they're in the middle of the road, you have to share the road. That's how it works.
Sounds good. And I have one other question. It has something to do with anything you talked about, yeah, but the vacation rent for the Lee family.
Yeah, so they applied to the city, they requested that the city vacate some right of ways out kind of in the middle of their property. They own multiple blocks and properties spread across a large area in the corner of the city. And the property is currently in the estate, and my guess is they're either trying to transfer it to someone within the estate or within the family, or sell it. And at that point, in order to get a mortgage on the property, you need to have all of that consolidated. You can't have piecemeal with, this piece in the right of way and this piece over here, whatever needs to be consolidated to the property. So that's the request that they have in, whether you guys want to kick them to the land use board and sort of get feedback from the board first, or just deal with it here. We have traditionally dealt with right of way requests just at the city level, but most of them are not this extensive. Because this one will result in the consolidation of probably 3 city blocks into one large property. Normally we get a vacation, it's like 1.5 feet because someone has a little intrusion in the right of way and now they can't get mortgage. We did one of those a couple of years ago. So it just depends on your guys' level of comfort. If you guys are comfortable.
Angela and I talked about it being, I lost my train of thought, property. And we thought the best bet would be kick it to land use, let them come up with what they decide, and then once they make your recommendation, then kick it back to us to.
Yeah, I mean, given the magnitude of it, that.
Yes.
So what's the procedure for that? Would you tell them or?
Yeah, so I can reach back out to the attorney for family and just advise him to submit. We don't have a real application for a street vacation, so I'll have them submit an application for an informal review. And that way the board can pass a resolution, just, advising city council on how they, what they feel, and how it should be forward. So that's the
My question to you is, your suggestion about taking one street out, not even sure how you pronounce it, the YPSILAND street.
Not gonna try.
Was that, yes? Did you suggest that to the lawyer or anything to change? it?
Not yet. We're having that discussion internally. We'll go back to them and I'll have that discussion and see if he can modify that before we present to the land use board. Because I didn't see a need for it and there's no sense for the city vacating more than we have to. So, we'll talk about it. And if he has an express need, if there's a reason that he really needs it for something and it makes sense, then okay, fine. But if it's just an extra piece that doesn't need to be vacated, let's not care.
And do you feel there's a need to put an escrow, set up an escrow account now, or?
Yes. Yeah,
Well, once
absolutely.
they submit to the board, they will have to.
Well, so at the board, they'll probably just submit like I said, for an informal review, which is not like $500 fee. It's not a formal review. We have typically required anyone who requests a street vacation to post an escrow, and then, essentially cover all of the city's fees. We're doing you the favor. So, you have to cover the city's costs entirely. So we can sort of talk amongst ourselves and figure out what we think the dollar value is going to be and have them post an escrow for that amount. If it goes over, they got to cover it. But we have to have something to at least start against, so we're not, trying to chase them for money.
Okay.
So, yeah, I can reach out, I'll communicate with Angela, we'll come up with a figure, I'll advise them they should apply for an informal review and post an escrow with the city for X amount of dollars.
Thank you.
Sure.
Is that all wetlands out there?
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought I heard you say that.
Yeah, it's all through the wetlands. There's no way to get, the only way to access it is actually from Muller. Yeah, so you have to cross a couple streams and yeah, there's no way to develop it. Yeah, literally.
All right, number 16, a resolution to authorize Remington Verdict to submit state aid application through NJDOT for transit path extensions. Any questions or comments? Have a motion? Roll call, please.
Antonese,
Yes.
Dash,
Yes.
Heiss,
Yes.
Hesse,
Yes.
Timbers,
Yes.
Bright.
Number 17, a resolution to authorize Remington Verdict to submit state aid application through NJDOT for citywide bike path extension. Can I get a motion?
Make a motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Roll call?
Antonese, Dash,
Yes.
Heiss,
Yes.
Hesse,
Yes.
Timbers,
Yes.
Bright.
Number 18, a resolution approving the agreement with the Egg Harbor City Board of Ed for school resource officers. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Second.
Any questions or comments?
I have one question. The only thing that we're responsible for is giving them a car, police car. That's the only thing we're actually responsible for.
We don't have to. I don't even think we have even, no, we have not. I mean, we're responsible for, providing them the equipment that they need.
Right.
But in terms of the vehicle, they've never used any of our police vehicles.
So we're not responsible for anything.
Just to make sure that they got the right equipment.
They are part of the queues.
They are. They are part of the police department. We are responsible. They are required to fulfill all of the training requirements that a fully sworn police officer would. They're all retired police officers in the last 5 years or 3 years. So Egg Harbor City is responsible for making sure that they maintain any kind of certifications that they need. The school reimburses us for everything, including their uniforms and equipment. So.
Thank
you. Any other questions or comments?
No.
Roll call?
Antonese,
Yes.
Dash,
Yes.
Heiss.
Yes.
Hesse.
Yes.
Timbers,
Yes.
Bright.
Yes.
Number 19, a resolution authorizing the use of IRS 2022 standard business mileage rates. A motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Questions or comments? That's just, all in favor? Opposed? Number 20, resolution update the police extra duty rates of compensation. The motion,
Make a motion.
Second.
questions or comments?
No question. So, I was looking at this, and it looks like the rates are, at the, rate of compensation for private employers, $100 per hour. That $100 per hour, that comes to the city, is that then split with the officer?
The
Or is it
officers will
some,
be paid, there's a rate for the officers, they'll be paid $80 an hour.
the officer gets $80 an hour? So is the city receiving $100 and the officer 80? Is that the way it works?
So we would get the city would get the net $20, like we'd be paying the officer 80, that additional 20 covers employer taxes, use of vehicles.
And is that like a detail?
Yes,
uh,
exactly, so like, yeah, like if the utility company comes in, they need an officer to, right.
So
Where
for
a car
anyone-
sits on the road, it's
Yeah.
for like construction.
For construction, for the bike races, when they want officers at intersections, any private vendor, or not even private, when the school wants 6 officers out for graduation, that's our detail rate.
Okay.
The
so-
school, we just charge the actual rate, whatever the overtime rate for the officers and employer taxes, we just figure out what the actual cost is for the school, we don't charge them like extra live for the contractor.
So my question with that is that similar to the surrounding towns, or are we higher, much higher?
So the $80 rate is part of it, it's contractual for us through our contract. The PBA, I believe the surrounding area, state police is 110, that's what they charge. I can give you a list of what the other towns charge, but this is very comparable to what everyone else is charging in the area.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call.
Antonisi,
Yes.
Dash,
Yes.
Ice,
Yes.
Hesse,
Yes.
Chambers,
Yes.
Wright.
Number 21, resolution authorizing assignment of tax sale credits, blocks 11.07, lot 7, and block 11.07, lots 1, 2 through 6, 10 through 18, and 18 through 30. The motion,
I'll make a motion.
Second.
questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call.
Antonisi, yes. Dash,
Yes.
Ice,
Yes.
Hesse,
Yes.
Chambers,
Yes.
Wright.
Number 22, a resolution to renew the following liquor licenses, July 1, 2022 through June 30, 2023. Plenary Retail Consumption, Firehouse Bar and Grill, Antonio Roman, Plenary Retail Distribution, Virashma Incorporated, license number 0107-44-003-007. A motion,
I'll make a motion.
Second.
questions or comments? All in favor?
All right.
Number 23, I need a motion
Make
to pay the bills.
Make a motion.
Roll call?
Antonisi,
Yes.
Dash,
Yes.
Ice,
Yes.
Hesse,
Yes.
Timbers,
Yes.
Wright.
Number 24, mayor and council comments. Mayor, the floor is yours.
Just to say congratulations to the community school graduates, Cedar Creek graduates, and all our other graduates of the various high schools. I'm very proud of Egg Harbor City. Like I said before, there's so many successful and important people that have come from Egg Harbor City that if I had to try to put them, I couldn't even fit them all in the shirt if I had to. It's just astonishing to realize who actually is from Egg Harbor City. You know, people just don't remember, but years ago, you know, there was a lot of families that had kids that grew up to be very successful, and I think we still have that now. And I think we're going in the right direction. So it's nice to see the kids doing like Cedar Creek High School is the best thing that's ever happened to Egg Harbor City. And I'm proud that we have it in Egg Harbor City.
Councilwoman Hesse.
I would just like to congratulate all of the 2022 graduates, Egg Harbor City graduates. And I'd like to wish all of them the very best and have a safe and fun summer. Thank you.
Councilman Timbers.
I just want to thank everybody that came out for the cleanup about 2 weeks ago at the lake. There were a couple of residents from the city, and then my family and myself were out there. We did like 7 bags of trash and some bulk items, and it was just really nice to get together and go out and clean up together. It was a pretty decent turnout, and I just thank everybody that came out.
Councilman Nash?
Yeah, I'd say it was really nice seeing Bill Malcolm get the award, and specifically seeing the Melton family. My grandsons played with Bo and his brothers for many years through Crusaders and then through Cedar Creek. I also like to say thank you to the police department. You guys did a great job. Public Works, always amazing. Code enforcement, they got a rough job out there. And also the city clerk's office. A lot of these people, they do a wonderful job. There's not a lot of people thanking them, so I just like to give them credit. That's it.
Councilman Wright?
I guess I just want to congratulate all the graduates at all the schools, especially Cedar Creek. Sky's the limits for you guys. No dream is big enough. All right, live your dream and chase it. As you can see tonight, if you want it, you can get it. Also, just want to let everybody know, Tuesday night coming up, football starts Tuesday, Thursday nights. Come on out, and then season will start in August. Can't wait to see everybody.
I'm just gonna reiterate, congratulations to all the graduates, community school, high schools, colleges. If you look at the rate of students out of Cedar Creek that now attend Scott colleges from what it was years ago, you would be amazed at how many of those kids go on to get 4-year or more degrees and become successful. So congratulations to those kids also. And just everybody remember, school is out. So drive safe, make sure you look before you pull out because there are kids everywhere. Mr. Adams?
I'm sorry, Mason reminded me when he was talking about football. So I do want to say, we talked a while back about signage. We have the new signs up, no right turn on Detroit that was requested. The one way's halfway down, 800 or 700 block Buffalo. And then also there was another mega reference to me, I think from a meeting I wasn't at, about the 100 block of Liverpool. There was a request for handicap child area sign.
Yeah,
That is up as well.
Okay, good.
I just forgot.
Thank you. Open the floor to public comment. Anyone from the public have a comment on anything?
All right, the bike path, 20 years that's been going on. 20 years, and that's still not.
So it started when I was in high school, is that what you're telling me?
Oh, Jesus.
The long bike path.
To be fair, we're not.
It's like the front row.
Ryan, I know how to fix it. Give her their number.
Yeah. CME, that's who you want to call.
Yeah.
Marie, call me tomorrow.
Same people doing the parkway.
Tracy, you have a comment? Can you come on up? We didn't make Marie come up. We didn't make Marie come up. She's special.
So I have a concern and a challenge. Concern and a challenge. I got some handouts. Somebody, a friend of mine gave me some statistics that kind of raised my eyebrows. So bring them out to you. I'm actually bringing them to the lower table too. The lower to you guys.
Ryan will share with you.
Right, so yeah, so a friend of mine had some, and I put the website out here, and I can send you a soft copy. Tracy Mulhern, 314 Arago Street. So yeah, so I was a little surprised. A friend of mine shared some information about taxes of the different cities in Atlantic County, and this is one place where we were #1, which didn't make me real happy. So our tax rate, according to the website, is 5.225. And most of the other cities, you can see on here, most of the other cities are all across the board. There's something like 1%, 2%, 3%, a little bit less than 1%. The closest one is Atlantic City, which is 3.9%. So, yeah, so it raised my eyebrows. I was like, wow, our taxes are kind of high compared to everybody else. And, I just want to say that I love the city, and I know you folks all love the city. And, we all voted you guys in here, and I believe in you guys. Like, you guys are a talented bunch of people. You're all very intelligent. You all have your different strengths. you know, y'all have different ideas and stuff, and even like, the committees, like y'all are over committees and stuff like that. So I don't know how to fix this. I don't know how to make our tax rate lower. I don't.
Commercial rateables. Commercial rateables. If you look at these big towns, we don't have the commercial rateables that Atlantic City has, the Brigantine has, that Una has. And we're a mile and a half by a mile and a half city. We don't have the businesses that these other towns, and you still look with all the businesses that they have, you still see how high the tax rate.
Right, and I agree, but the thing I keep thinking about is Stone Harbor. I had lived in Stone Harbor, Stone Harbor is like.
It's a short town, that beach pays for that. If we were beachfront, we would never have to worry about taxing.
But we have been to be on, we're on the way, which like location, like we're on the way to and from Atlantic.
Yeah, but
City.
nobody's coming down from Philly to go vacation on the White Horse Pike. They're coming down to go vacation on that beach that pays for those taxes and those multi-million dollars.
First of all, you're correct in citing, where did you say it was?
Stone Harbor.
Okay, so they have a higher, I've been saying this for many years, they have a higher valuation than we do. That means their property is worth a lot more than ours is. Where maybe a lot in Egg Harbor would be $50,000. There, I would suspect it could be $500,000 to over $1 million. So that all goes into your valuation. And in fact, in 2006, our valuation was $299,765,021. In 2021, it was $198,233 or $233,900. We've lost a significant amount of money in rateables, which affects your valuation. And I'm sure, Jody could probably speak more about that if you'd like. But I can give you this if you want. You can take this and look at it. But that's really the big problem. So when our valuation goes up, the cost of what we spend per cent that we raise the tax rate goes down. So for example, if we raise the taxes 1 cent, we're spending $20,000. What is it now, Judy?
It's a little, not quite 1,000.
19,000. So if we have a big rate increase, let's just say contractual raises, I mean, they go up a lot, and pension payments and things like that. It's $20,000 to raise a tax 1 cent. So if our expenses are going up $100,000, that's a very large tax increase, correct? So the only way we really benefit from any of this, or it might be a little consolation, being that our property value is lower, the houses cost a lot less. Now, why is that important? Because when you compare what you pay for a mortgage on a $350,000 house and a $250,000 house, when on a 30-year mortgage, it's probably cheaper to pay a little bit more taxes than it is to pay that chunk of mortgage at what, 3-4%, maybe even could go up to 5% now. I'm not really sure about that market. So it's a lot, yes. It's $5.25, 100 of assessed value. That's what we have to remember. So now when, let's just say I don't have all the well, you have all the, you don't have that, but if you go and look on the Atlantic County financial site, it'll show you what everybody's tax rate is. I don't have that with me tonight, but you'll see that, they're maybe Galloway, if they spend $100,000, maybe they're raising their tax rate 50 cents. And that's the real difference that it makes, because we have really, and since we tracked this, Jody and I tracked this back to 2008 to 2021, our expenditures, okay, and I'm having trouble seeing this with my glasses on, but the expenditures have actually gone down since 2008. And the thing that's really gone down too is revenue. Since 2008, we've lost $964,192 in revenue. That's significant.
That's like businesses that left or something.
Tax
Or people that moved out of the
just
city
like,
and they
just say like,
vacant.
we used to get, no, because that's all accounted for. We used to get like taxes for energy, which they're trying to reinstate now. We passed a resolution not too long ago about that we should be getting our fair share. Back in the day, you were making a lot of money in interest. You know what I mean? And what's some other things, Jody, that revenue streams down? Could be the court, could be, well, we don't have a court anymore, so hopefully that'll go back up this year. So whenever there's a hole in the revenue, that has to be made up by a tax increase, because it has to, it's a deficit going in. So it's kind of complicated, but like I said, I can give you this to look at if you want, and it's definitely not that we're spending a lot of money, because we're not, and you can see that with these numbers. And also a big part of our taxes are attributed to the school system. We do have to pay.
Yeah, that number is the total tax rate. That's not just the local tax rate.
That's the total. So our municipal tax rate, just what this council is responsible for here, is $2.29. So take that number and subtract $5.25, and you'll see what the other the people, like the county, the schools, okay, the library, the paper, you know, we have to pass that on to, you know, residents. It's not that we're spending it. It's just that's just the increase. It's like this year, the school is going to increase 17 cents, Judy, about the two with the school and
11.
what was the other?
Oh, for just the local.
Yeah, and then the regional 6 cents, right? So that's, I think, anyway.
To me, I feel like you bring in more businesses, and that's what they're trying to do. I mean, they have brought in a few businesses. I mean, Wawa,
Yeah.
well, Wawa is still, it's kind of redundant, really, but a few other small businesses, but that's what we need to do.
Well,
I
hopefully,
think, to
once
help.
Wawa moves, somebody will come in and figure.
Exactly.
And building houses, that's, you know, the houses that we built in River City North, they're all coming online.
And hopefully we fill the houses that are, you know, here or have, you know, people have lost their homes, because there's a lot of that too, so we're losing that revenue as well. You know, so
Somebody
that's-
does pay those, because it's either we sell the liens, so we get the money for that, or we have it set aside for uncollected taxes.
So there's nothing that, there are no homes that are not paying taxes.
Well,
There are tenant homes.
they're, Judy, could you
It is about,
explain
it
better?
is 6 cents.
Yeah, all right. So 17-cent tax increase for the schools this year, both of them. That's significant. That's significant.
If I could just add too, this is the third year that the municipal taxes stay flat as we increase.
Great, 'cause we've
So
been-
we're working hard on keeping our end of it.
Well, we've been very fortunate. We got almost $500,000 in the CARES Act. So that money for the past 2 years has been injected into the budget to offset costs that are eligible costs. So if we didn't have that, we probably would have had.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah. That's
But
encouraging.
you can take that as you want, check that out.
Yeah, it's encouraging, because like I've been here since 2010, my taxes have literally doubled. in 10 years. And like, is this gonna stop? Is it gonna slow down? Is it gonna reverse? Like,
If you look at the line with the blue on it, that's like Harbor Cities, you can see that the municipal purpose tax, whether it's gone up or down or not, or stayed the same. And you'll see that it's really significant in terms of what the council does. It's just unfortunate that people increased expenses like pension benefits, things like that, electric, gas, I mean, we have a gas pump there. It all goes up. And like I said, when it goes up, if it goes up, you know, we have to raise the tax a penny, we're only spending $20,000. So it's not a lot of money.
That's got one thing too. I know you always say like Stone Harbor, when you come up. I just want to give you a prime example. I built it, that's what I do for a living. I live on 100 by 150 lot. I would take my lot and go to Stone Harbor, put down at least $1.5 million just for my little lot. No house, no nothing before you can have to. Egg Harbor City, by $50, $60. That's the difference between, you know, I mean, the islands keep sinking, you never know, we might be. But it's just, you can't never measure an offshore town with a shore town. It's just completely different. Because if it wasn't for those 3 months in the summer, they wouldn't have been able to survive. That 3 months carried those towns.
But even if you compare us to someplace like Absecon has a lot of schools. They have hotels. And they don't have a high school. They have grade schools, but they don't have high schools. Their kids are all tuition based, so they don't have that high school tax in their.
I think they got.
But it's tuition based.
Right.
So they don't pay for the building. They don't pay for each child is a certain rate that they pay Pleasantville to educate. And if the kids don't go to Pleasantville, they go to Holy Spirit. That's on the mom and dad. So that is a savings, but there's no overhead with salaries or health insurance or anything through the school because they don't have a high school. They just have the elementary.
Yeah, and I appreciate everything that Daddy doing and stuff, and, you know, because.
Don't believe me, we're trying, we all live here too, so.
Yeah, a couple of thoughts, it's like Hamilton got turned around, like their avenue is like, it got turned around, it's really thriving, and it's like, you know, I totally get that they're a short town, we're not, but like, I still think we're a great location.
Oh, we are,
Like, we're on the
100%.
way to Atlantic City, it's not like we're like way off the beaten path, you know, it's like, this could be a destination.
We
This
were
could
the
be
prime
a
location back in
desirable
the
place, like,
30s.
hey, I wanna buy a house in Atlantic City, could be Egg Harbor City, because I can commute to, you know, to other places around here, and it's really nice and.
That's why a lot of people
beautiful
want to come here.
location,
because of
it's a
that
nice
transition.
town, so just keep up the good work and
Yeah.
we come up with some new creative ideas, which I
Just to
appreciate.
encourage, because I know it's frustrating, listen, you're not sure, I know, right? One of the possible infusions of just revenue to towns is possibly campus. And one of the main things is from the standpoint of the 2% revenue, which does not sound like a lot that you receive, like 2% in tax. However, if in your town, if someone is going to put not just retail, but they're going to put, say, a cultivation, there's a cultivator that comes, and they are successful, that is a potential game changer. Like most people have not, they can't even imagine. I mean, you have to actually try to do some of that. During the week, I'm working with people that are trying to get into cannabis. I'm my town's cannabis attorney. And I can tell you, I've been told projections for cultivators is kind of insane that it's off the chart. And you're looking at your 2%, and that 2% in a town like, say, Atlantic City may have a huge impact. But a town like Egg Harbor City, which has a much smaller budget, 2% of what these people potentially could bring in could have an impact that most of our residents had no idea how to even figure that out. We'll actually be trying to figure that out. We're trying to figure out your rate, we're trying to figure everything out. It looks like I can pay all the taxes. And you're trying to figure that out. I'm telling you, this is how it sounds. I don't know how it's going to be 10 years from now, but 5 years from now, we could see something kind of
Thank you so much for your time, I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anyone else from the public have any questions or comments?
I do. Hello.
We hear you.
Hi, Nanette. Yeah, it's Nanette Galloway, 349 Buffalo. It's a shame to end the meeting on a sour note talking about taxes, but it was a fabulous meeting, and I'm so proud of the student athletes at Cedar Creek High School. And I just remember way back when the high school was proposed, the naysayers that didn't want to pay extra taxes to bring that high school or bring a third high school to the regional. And I have to thank Dr. Adam Pfeffer for his persistence in getting that high school built.
that high school has brought so much joy to this city since it was erected. Just with the sports teams, I mean, it was the first or second year, it was the Quads from Mullica that won the basketball championship, and they've been winning championships ever since. And it's just so wonderful to see. And I just logged on to their website to see what year it was the high school was built, because it's a long time ago for me. But I noticed that they're doing a referendum in October to improve the athletic fields over at Cedar Creek. And there's a few other things on there for Oakcrest and Apsagami. So I just wanted to say I'll be voting for that because I want more joy brought to Egg Harbor City. And if, you know, the kids are definitely doing it. And thank the teachers, the administrators, the coaches who will do their part to educate our kids and give them what we couldn't give them years ago because they were all drawn out of the city to Apsagami and Oakcrest and so forth. But now they're here, they're our kids, even though they come from the other sending districts, they're considered our kids. And I have to thank Adam Pfeffer for being the curmudgeon that he was to make sure that the city found the land for the high school and that he brought it to Egg Harbor City and not Hamilton or Galloway or somewhere else. It kind of reestablished our identity. And I was so proud when I was with the chamber to be able to buy the first set of flags welcoming Cedar Creek to Egg Harbor City. So I just wanted to say that.
And then can I interrupt you for 1 second? You spoke
Yeah.
about the referendum, and I did attend the meeting, the first meeting about that, and you'll be happy to know that it will not increase our taxes at all because the state is contributing to these projects. So what they had proposed originally became a lot less. So there won't be a tax increase.
Good. That's even better to hear.
But it's going to be a special election in October, so people really should get out and vote for it. I'll have more information, I guess, soon.
Yeah, they'll do their campaign. I'm sure they'll have a community meeting for us to attend or whatever. I think it's on October 4th. The other thing is I was wondering, any progress with Comcast on upgrading the council chambers?
Nanette, I spoke.
Oh, I didn't even know you were there. I can't see you behind.
So, I spoke to Fred again and I emailed him and he said hopefully by the end of the month we'll have some proposal for us, some money for us.
Good, because it's really hard, still really hard to hear. And when the guys were standing up there taking pictures, you couldn't see all of them. And it would be nice to have a better equipment over there for the community.
I agree with you.
I just wanted to touch on the energy planning grant. It's a planning grant. It will not cover any kind of implementation. So, but once you have this plan completed, it will help us get grants for certain things with the BPU or whatever, wherever we have to go to get some things accomplished. And there will also probably be community meetings where we could solicit input from the public on what they'd like to see to save energy in the city. There's a lot residents can do in their own homes to save energy. And I also wanted to say that the city is very lucky to have Keith working and heading Public Works. I mean, I spent a couple hours with him the other day and no is not in his vocabulary, and he's very accommodating and he'll do whatever you ask him. So let's ask him to do stuff like, I have a request, get the clocks working, the one in Lincoln Park, and we're in front of the library. They never tell at the right time. It's annoying and it doesn't reflect well on the city. But I understand, I spoke to the mayor about it and she said there's an expense to it. It's probably about $4,000 to get them fixed. And I was thinking of Back to the Future when they had the Save the Clock Tower campaign. And I'm thinking maybe we should do a fundraiser to see if we could generate some funds to pay for those clocks to be set at the proper time. Maybe Keith would want to help on that.
We are working on that, and that Jody is getting
I'm pretty
quotes
sure,
to
yeah, we
update
have-
the quotes. You just.
I think we talked about that last meeting, I don't know if you were here or not, but we're gonna use money from are we using the money from the CARES Act, Judy?
That I did offset, yes.
We're offsetting the cost with the CARES Act.
I emailed them again for an updated quote.
So they'll be fixed in the next couple months?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You not couple.
Yeah, by the end of the year.
Well, as long as it's on the agenda, that's pretty good.
He can't fix those.
Trust me, if you couldn't, we would have to do it.
I know, it'd be done by now, right? I heard Ryan talking about the bikeway grant, and I was wondering why there are no markings for a bike lane in that area along Atlantic Avenue? Is that part of the project?
On Atlantic Avenue, there's a separate path that is off the roadway. What we're applying for would be New Orleans Avenue from Atlantic to Deesewig. And for that, we would not have a separate path. It would be on the road with the shared road arrows and signage and all that.
Right, okay. So that's coming then.
That's what we're applying for.
Okay. Where's the location of the street vacations?
It is out at the very northern corner of the city.
Lower Bank.
Yeah, it's only accessible through Mullica, literally on the river at the very north corner.
Okay, thanks. That's all I had. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Anyone else, questions or comments? Seeing none, motion to adjourn,
Make a motion.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Fine. 148.